Hi guys, today I want to talk about how women can ask men out and or flatter them without scaring them off. Now I've talked about it in another video, men not liking to be pursued by women, which is ridiculous, but that's life. So check out that video, but for now I'll talk about how you can actually ask women, how women can actually ask men out and flatter them. When they're the kind of guy that doesn't like to be chased by women. Okay, so the only thing you can do in this situation is to treat them like a friend and find a way to ask them out as a friend. For example, you start to talk to them and you're completely being platonic and all the rest of it. You find out they're into something. If you've got an interest in that at all, or you would like to see what it's all about or whatever, that's the kind of thing you can hone in on. I'll give you an example. When I split up with my ex-husband, I was working with a guy who had sort of caught my attention because I thought he was good looking, seemed like a nice guy. And so when I split up with my husband, I thought, well, all right, let's try and pursue this. And we were talking about movies one day. We both like to go to the cinema. And he said something about, oh, I hate that I can never get my friends to come with me though, or something like that. And I jumped in straight away, and I'm just like, oh, you can come with me. I've got no one to go with now, because I just split up with my husband. So that was my in. And I think the new Transformers movie was coming up or something, so we both wanted to see that. And then there we go. We had a date. Now, it was a friend date, but nevertheless, that was my way in, and that was the one we started hanging out, and things progressed from there. So you can ask them out as you would a female friend that you're trying to get to know or whatever. You can suggest things like if you like to ride motorbikes and they like to ride motorbikes, there's a great way. Hey, do you want to go for a ride one day? Or even if you just put sort of a suggestion for like, oh, we should do that crazy hill together or something. Or let me know if you ever want to tackle that crazy mountain. There's just platonic ways that you can ask a guy to hang out with you, and it's not threatening, it's not scary. It's not, they're not going to automatically assume you want a relationship out of it. They might just simply think you're wanting to be friends. And there's a way that you can get to hang out with them. And if they start to like you from there, great. If they don't, you've made a friend. Now, I knew a guy once that I thought was cute, and he was making a movie, like a short movie for his degree or something at uni. And I talked about that I had studied a bit of film editing or whatever, and said, oh, geez, it'd be cool to be in a movie. And he's like, oh, we need extras. And I'm like, oh, cool, here's my number. And if you need me to be an extra, give me a call. It was simple as that. And he did. He let me know, and I was an extra in that movie. Nothing romantic came of that, but that's okay. That's just how you do it. He didn't feel threatened by that, or... And we hung out some other times as friends in a group and things, and he was fine. There was nothing awkward or weird or anything about it. He didn't think I was after him. So it was all cool. Now, talking about flattering them, saying, oh, wow, you've got beautiful eyes or something, that's too far. That is going to make him get, whoa, she's interested in me. But it's passing comment flattery is what you need to use on men. And for an example, if he's talking about, oh, I'm not very lucky, girls don't seem to be that interested in me or whatever, see if you can work into the conversation something like, oh, but you're a good looking guy. I can't see you having any issues, getting girls interested or whatever. Do you see that? It was just a passing comment of stating something that to you is stating the obvious, but you're a good looking guy, blah, blah, blah. You're not saying, oh, you're so good looking, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, isn't it? It's completely changed the sort of intention behind it, or what he's going to assume the intention is. Now, if he was ever going to start liking you, charming them or flattering them like that is something that might get his cogs turning, as opposed to just sort of coming on too strongly and telling him you think he's hot, you know. If you were on his radar at all, he might go, oh, okay, well, at least I know she thinks I'm good looking. Oh, okay, maybe I'll step it up a bit. Or if you weren't on his radar, all of a sudden you might actually become on his radar because, you know, now you've sort of put the thought in his head that you think he's good looking, but there's no pressure and there's no, she definitely likes me, or, you know, anything like that. Another way is to say something like, oh, what's your heritage? You've got gorgeous skin, or, you know, something like that. And you might even, if you're bold and if you sort of feel like you are getting the right kind of signals from him, you could always just sort of run a couple of fingers on the skin of his arm or something. Something like that can be quite flattering or charming. It might not work with everybody, but that's a level you could possibly... that's particularly good when you're sort of out clubbing and people are looking to pick up. It's a way of sort of charming or flattering somebody without coming on too strongly. And at the clubs and whatever, they're there to be to find someone, at least for the night anyway. So it's a less threatening way to come on to somebody. The odd little touch here and there too, if you feel that you're getting the right sort of signals, can work too. Sort of a touch on the arm when you sort of laugh at something they say or whatever, but don't get, if you notice any sort of pulling back from that or whatever, just don't do it. They're not interested, or there's another reason why they don't want their space invaded. And I'm going to make a video later about men touching women and invading their space too soon and all the rest of it. So you can get it away with it a little bit more if you're a woman to a man, because women are not threatening. We don't rape. You know, well, 99.99% of us don't rape, you know what I mean? So you can get away with it a little bit more, but if you notice that he's finds it a bit irksome or pulls away or doesn't look happy that you've done that or whatever, then just stop doing it. You know that that's his boundary and that you've got to respect that, because for whatever reason he doesn't want you to touch him or anything like that. So just if you notice any sort of pulling back, just really pull yourself back. Stop the flirting. You can still talk to him. You don't want to just walk away in a huff, because then he's really going to know what was up. Just keep talking to him normally like you would a friend that you're not interested in. And if you really did notice him sort of pull back and go, ooh, what's going on here? Chuck in the word buddy, you know, that'll really throw him off the scent. So, yeah, so you can sort of flatter without being coming on too strongly, but there's all different levels, and you've got to know at what time it's appropriate. Like, you wouldn't go up to a workmate and say, what's your heritage, because you've got lovely skin, and then and sort of touch his arm or whatever. You wouldn't do that at work. That's more of an appropriate setting for meeting someone at a club or whatever. So know your limitations, know where you are. A workmate, yeah, sure, you could say, yeah, but you're a good-looking guy. I can't see that you'd have a problem. That's completely acceptable between workmates. So know your levels and know when it's appropriate to use which one. And if in doubt, stick to the lower ones. If you get a good response from that, perhaps step it up a notch. But try not to come on to a man. Don't always leave him wondering. You can do little things where if he is interested in you, he'll go, oh, geez, I wonder if she meant something by that. But if he's not interested in you, it won't even register. That's a skill that you've got to learn. You've got to really learn how to sneak those little things in there without them being aware. If they're not interested in you, they won't even be aware. If they are interested in you, they're going to go away and go, oh, did she mean by something by that? You know what I mean? I'm sure you've experienced it yourself from men. So, you know, it's kind of true what they say. The guys that you don't show all the interest in generally want you, but the ones that you show the interest in don't want you. So you need to treat the ones that you don't, that you do want, more like the ones you don't want. I mean, I don't mean ignore them and everything. That's silly because they're just going to think you're playing games or you just have no interest whatsoever. So you just need to be platonic. Just treat them like a friend. See if you can slip in there some way of hanging out with them as a friend. Find out what you've got in common, all the rest of it. See if you can slip in a casual passing comment, flattery, and see how it goes from there. And that's about all you can do. With, sadly, the men of these days that do not like to be pursued by women. There's always exceptions to the rule, of course, but the majority, and in my experience, men do not like to be pursued by women. Even 5s, and you're an 8 or a 9, you pursue a man, majority of them are going to be turned off, and I'm speaking from experience there. So don't do it. Check out my other video on women pursuing men. And for now, from Aussie Land, farewell.